All right, yo, what is good, everybody? Back again with another episode of Unfinished Business. It's the holidays. We've been out here getting a little fat, eating real good. So, can you really blame us? Had a good Thanksgiving. But we back again with my co host, the guy that irritates me the most, Mr. Marlon McCoy. He's laughing. So, before we even get started, setting up for these podcasts is so tedious. And guess who's the only one that knows how to do it? Don't lie. I'm the only one that know how to do it. He's learning along the way, but I try to get these camera shots right, and I'm like, Marlon, stay still, look at the camera, and he's doing everything but. So I'm a little agitated, but we gonna press forward.
Yeah, it don't help that when I do it, it's not good enough or to her liking. So that's why she get up and do it. So if you don't want my help, then you can do it on your own.
First of all, that's a lie. But his skills, they do need to get a little bit better. I'll say that. But anyways, it's okay. You're learning. Like I had to learn. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe. As always, we're going to get right into it. So, starting with the NBA, last night we had the opportunity to go and watch the Dallas Mavericks play versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was kind of a special night because one of Marlon's former players, Richardson High School, Cason Wallace, got a chance to play last night and the high school team came out. So, I think my first question to you that I would like to, get from your point of view is, what does it feel like being able to coach a player? Just 2 years ago, right? He was kind of under your tutelage, and now he's in the NBA playing for the Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, that's crazy. I said that.
Yeah, Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City Thunder, and he's playing significant minutes.
It was a surreal moment, being at the game and just seeing him out there on the floor. Like people, players that we look at like Luka and who's another like Shy, like you say Shy not a superstar, but I mean he leading the league in points. Yeah. I mean he's in I think first for MVP right now, but that's another conversation. Yeah, we're not talking about him.
Go ahead.
But like I was saying, like you see him out there with those guys, and it was just a very special moment. Kind of like, wow, like we just had him 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, and now he's in the league and playing significant minutes. He has a good role, or he's one of the role guys that comes off the bench. That's really all you can really ask for as a rookie, especially if you're not one of those rookies that were have like a big name coming into the league. Getting that role spot is, I guess we'll say, like your goal because you just want to be on the floor. But it was a surreal moment.
Mm-hmm. So my next question, and I'll kind of go first though with it, is what's the biggest difference that you've seen in his game? Like, is it the same? Is it a little bit different? I think something that I notice is he shoots the three ball a lot more than he did while he was in high school. And he's hitting it at a high clip. I think he actually leads the league in three-point shooting percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's the same that I love to see is his defense. Like, he still kind of takes pride in his defense. And if you guys are watching the games, you'll notice that he's usually guarding the best player. He didn't guard Luka, Klay Thompson, but whoever's considered the best on whatever team, he's going to get a look at them. And so I think I can appreciate that. Just seeing him kind of grow in his game. It's just defensively, he's still staying true to who he is. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that biggest thing is, well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a surprise or anything different. It's just I feel like the world has seen it now that his shooting capability. I feel like in high school he was always able to shoot the three, but that's not what we were asked for him to do at the high school level. He was asked to do everything. But, I mean, majority of his points weren't coming from three, but he can knock down the three ball. So, but, in the league, you kind of gotta find your niche and find basically where you fit in and how you're going to get minutes on the floor. And with him, that's his defense and being able to knock down a catch and shoot three when Shy gets in the lane and dishes it to him. Because right now he's not playing on the ball because of Shy and Giddy. So when those two really are getting the most attention, or like last night we seen Shy get doubled, that's causing for Cason to get open looks. And what I like also too is the Thunder, like there was nothing forced. Like even when Shy was getting doubled, like he was super passive and trusting his teammates. So that allowed Cason to get a lot of open looks. But like I said, I don't think it's anything new. It's just more in the spotlight now because he's not the main guy. So, they're leaving him open, so he's knocking down.
True 3-and-D player.
Yeah, 3-and-D player, yeah. Knocking down his open shots.
So then kind of getting into the game, right? Obviously, he fit in well. I think he ended up having 16-plus points or something like that.
Yeah, 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. So looking at the game, it was actually an exciting game. I honestly thought that OKC was going to blow the Mavericks out just because, yes, that's my favorite team, but we have a couple injuries. Tim Hardaway Jr. is out. Kyrie didn't play. Maxi Kleber's out. So I thought that OKC was just going to kind of blow us out of the water, and you kind of saw that at times throughout the game. I think OKC was up by like 20-plus points at one point, but the Mavs just kind of kept fighting back, and they were, I want to say at the end of the third quarter, they had caught up, and it was within like 11 points or something like that. But then OKC, really looking like a vet team out there, kind of took it away. They went up by like 24 points. Yeah. And then the Mavericks went on to go on a 30-0 run, and they eventually took the lead within like the last 2 minutes of the game. Yeah. But OKC obviously caught back. So walk me through, like, what did you think were the keys in order for OKC to kind of stay calm and finish that game out after losing the lead?
It was the defense. Everybody knows, I would guess our audience all watch basketball, or, that's what I would think. But, in basketball, it's a game of runs. So when the Mavs went on their run, it was no surprise. But what I thought that OKC did well was they weathered the storm, but at the end defensively, I don't know if you remember, they came up with 2 big steals, which led out to fast break dunks. So then, even though that 30-0 run did happen, it was kind of like the energy got sucked out of the arena when those 2 steals happened, because it was like breakaways. And then after those 2 steals happened, it was kind of like a kind of back and forth, ordeal, but it was just kind of sealed it in the sense of like their run was over and the momentum was back to OKC. So I think that was the biggest thing. So it was the defense, them being able to find stops once that run came to an end for the Mavs and just stay composed.
Yeah, it was the defense, but I also think the refs kind of helped out a little bit, if I'm being honest. Like, first of all, they called a travel on Luka, and you even said that wasn't a travel.
Yeah, it wasn't a travel. But in the same sense, that travel got called, but it was like a possession or 2 possessions later, they throw it sideline out of bounds inbound, and they threw it right to Shy, and he went, it was a lazy pass, and they got a layup. So, and then you got to think, too, when that travel happened, the game was tied, right?
I don't know. I don't care. I'm just saying, like, they can't be out there calling stuff like that, though.
See, you was one of them type of ones that would blame the ref. Yeah, I know what type of time
I definitely wasn't. All I'm saying is Luka was out there putting belt to ass. Yeah,
he was. What is he supposed to do when Kyrie's not playing? Like, he had an amazing game. I think he finished with like 36, 15, and 13 or something like that.
You gonna let me finish?
Like I said,
he was out there. What, Kendrick Perkins? He was out there putting belt to ass on them little boys. Luka, he actually had a baby the night before, so he missed the Memphis Grizzlies game, and he had a baby daughter named Gabriella. And in my opinion, and I even tweeted this out, Luka said he a grown-ass man now. He said he not out here playing with these little boys, and that's so Gabriella. period, putting belt to ass. So, and he was getting doubled. He keep talking about Shea was getting doubled. Yeah, okay, cool. Luka was getting doubled damn near the whole game and still was putting belt to ass. So, we're just going to break it down, though. What do you think that OKC could have did to maybe stop? I guess there's no stopping Luka. But what do you think that OKC did well with Luka? Yes, he had a triple-double. But did you see some positives out of the way that they were handling him?
Well, first of all, let's just say this. He lost. All that extra stuff you're doing, you did all that, 30, whatever it was, triple-double, with a loss. You lost. But I thought he did a good job with the double coming on. He wasn't being selfish. He was sharing with his teammates. Honestly, it came down his teammates didn't make shots at the end of the game. And with OKC, what they did well was to double him and get the ball out of his hands. So, their strategy worked. He moved it. He wasn't being selfish. He didn't force. And with him moving and getting out the ball out of his hands, his teammates just didn't make shots towards the end. So I thought their strategy was good. And on the other hand, when Shai got doubled, he still found ways to score. But his teammates did make shots.
Didn't?
Did.
Towards the end.
Yeah, towards the end.
At first, you was complaining that they wasn't making shots.
Yeah, that's why they went on a 30-0 run.
Yeah.
But then at the end, they came up and made some big plays.
Okay. Well, I'll give you that. You guys did win. We kind of had a meltdown in the last probably 75 seconds that kind of lost us the game. But nonetheless, it was a great game. I was glad I was able to see it in person. We were able to see it in person. We had box seats, actually. So, a little flex, but whatever. Anyway, wrapping up the Dallas Mavericks versus OKC. We'll stay in the NBA a little bit, but something I wanted to talk about was the Draymond Green situation. So, for those of you that don't know, Draymond Green put Rudy Gobert in the guillotine for reasons unknown. He ended up getting a 5-game suspension. What's your take on that?
And baby boy.
Or Melvin put Jody in?
Yeah.
Why you be taking my jokes? I've been said that on TikTok.
You just didn't say that now, but
I said it on TikTok though.
Nah, you didn't say it.
Go check the TikTok. You'll see what I'm saying.
What was the question?
What do you think about that situation?
I thought. I guess I can't say that. Like, I just really think Draymond is very extra, but when nobody in the league ain't gonna check him, ain't gonna say nothing to him, and just let him move how he moves. You really can't say nothing. Like, he really the bully of the league, and it's sad because I really just don't think he's like that. But he might be proving me wrong. Maybe he is like that. Because,
you gonna step to Draymond?
Yeah, I wouldn't let him just bitch out down. I wouldn't let him just like baby Melvin me like, bro. You could have slapped him, like threw the ball at him. Something, act like you was gonna charge at him or do something, but yeah.
You should have did what what's the dude name from the Pistons did to LeBron?
Yeah, Stewart. Yeah, something. You could have did something, like, but yeah, as of right now, ain't nobody. Draymond is untouchable in the league.
That's crazy.
He doing what he wants, so I can't speak on his toughness or what he's doing now as far as bullying the league, just because ain't nobody stepping to him. So I guess he's got that. But the situation on the Wolves side, I think everybody knows Cat's soft as hell. I know he wasn't the one that getting choked out, but he was the first one to come to the scene, and he didn't do shit.
You said scene like it's a verdict.
Cause he the first one that was on site, and he didn't step for his teammate.
See, this is my thing with Cat though. Cat has already got choked out once before.
Yeah, that's what makes it even more soft. Like, you already didn't got hold in front of the league once.
He was tapping out.
That was your chance to like show people like, okay, I ain't no hoe.
I thought so too.
And then you got hoed again.
Cause like Draymond, like you said, is like the big bad boy of the league. Like it sounds crazy to say that, but
he easily could have came up behind Draymond and choked him out while he was choking out Rudy.
One of these.
Yeah, but instead he grabbing like, stop, get him, let him go.
I see that.
But and it's crazy because we're not even talking about Rudy Gobert right now. Like,
right.
Yeah, he's soft, but I'm just more upset that because he could have stood up or gave him one to the elbow to the ribs, something. He could have did something, but he didn't do nothing. But I'm just more pissed off at Cat because he was the first one on site and he didn't do nothing. Along with Anthony Edwards,
yeah, I was about to say you need to mention.
Well, I mean, we going down the line. We going down the line,
okay.
So we already
just
know.
Making sure.
Gobert was soft because he didn't do nothing. Cat was soft because he easily could have helped out his boy. And Ant was third line in the defense, and he didn't do nothing either. So
am I hearing that like the Wolves is just altogether soft as hell?
As of right now, yeah. As of right now, we that was a bad look on us.
For the whole state of Minnesota.
Yeah, that was we got punked by Draymond. And,
just by Draymond.
Yeah, and that's what make it even worse. Like,
and some light skinned dudes. Let me stop.
No, it wasn't. It was one person versus three.
Draymond like Thanos.
Like, I don't understand. Like, one dude punk. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. Like, not one person. Like, somebody, I would have been okay if Cat or Ant ran up and pushed both of them down.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, something.
Something, but damn, we let one person bitch our whole. Damn, I keep saying that. Do that to our whole organization. Like, yeah, we gonna have to do Malice at the Palace. Something. We gotta get our street cred back. We gotta, I don't know, slap a fan.
Then get back him up.
Yeah, we gotta. I don't know. We gotta do something.
So like, what you think though? So like, I think what's interesting, like outside of it's funny, whatever. He got a 5-game suspension, but something that the league said back when Draymond, I forget when it was, when he got ejected last time and he had like a few game suspension, that they take into account is if you're a repeat offender. And so obviously, and Draymond even kind of said it, he's like, everybody in the league know what type of player I am. I don't regret anything. He basically said, I'm going to do it again if it come down to it. Yeah. So they gave him 5 games. Do you think it's as serious as like they need to punish him a little bit harsher, considering the fact, like you talk about people like Ja Morant, right? Ja Morant got caught flashing guns and things like that. Rumor maybe he did or didn't do something with it, but as far as I know, right, what's fact is that he didn't do anything with guns. He was just kind of flashing it and things like that. And you see other things that just kind of happen within the league, but then you have Draymond that continually does a lot of questionably dirty plays and things like that. Mm-hmm. Do you think there will ever come a time where the league may put its foot down and say enough is enough, Draymond?
I think maybe. But I mean, to be honest, like, I really don't have a problem with it. Like, the league's soft. So, I mean, all the hating, even like me too, like, we talk stuff about Draymond, but I mean, if he was on one of our teams, like, we would love him. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't think the 5 games, like, was cool. I mean, if it really ain't on the league, it's on the players. Like, if the players going to keep letting him bully them, then they going to keep getting bullied. Mm-hmm. But, like, somebody got to step up to him. But I don't think the 5 games, it should have been more. I thought the 5, whatever they gave him would have been fair because, like, it's not on the league. Like, and then you brought up the John Morant situation. Like, I feel like that's 2 different things. Like, John Morant just being stupid, like, with the gun stuff. Like, that's off the court stuff. So I think he deserved what he got just because it's like they gave him one chance, slapped him on the wrist, then he did it again. Right. So I was like, okay, now you forcing him to,
do a little bit more.
Yeah, do a little bit more. But like I said, like that's dealing with guns,
right?
Like which is a whole different type of other beast than on court stuff where people getting choked out and punked. Like if they're gonna keep allowing him to do it, then shoot, I don't keep doing it, Draymond. If they ain't nobody gonna do nothing.
Well, Draymond, try not to put people in headlocks, but I think you make a good point. But we'll leave that situation alone. It happened a few weeks back, but I just thought that was hilarious. I definitely wanted to talk about that. College football, right? We're finally getting into playoff and bowl territory, and they have officially set the Final Four for who will make it to the college football playoffs. You got Washington, Texas, Alabama, and Michigan in your Final Four. And so, as always, around this time, there are certain teams out there that feel snubbed, right? And the biggest one is Florida State, right? They were undefeated 13-0, but they did not make it into the college football playoff. Now, it's a little bit of a couple things at play here, right? You had Georgia, who was undefeated the whole season, and then they lost in the 11th hour to Alabama, right, to lose one game. Alabama had already lost a game previously, and then you have Florida State that's kind of over here that haven't lost any games. So my question is, do you think that Florida getting in or out was predicated on whether Georgia won or not? Like, for example, if Georgia won, do you think that Alabama still gets in and Florida State is out? Or do you think if Georgia wins, Florida State would have got in and Alabama would have been out?
Yeah, I think it was definitely predicated on that. I was talking to one of my coaches that I work with about this situation, and basically just saying that you can't let Alabama get any type of advantage, or I don't know if that's the right word, leeway, or any type of like foot in the door. Yeah, because if you do, they always gonna give it to Alabama just because it's Alabama. So it sucked that Alabama, I mean, it didn't suck because they beat Georgia. I mean, they just beat them.
Right.
But, I knew when Alabama, I said it before the game, if they beat Georgia, they were going to get in. Even though they lost to Texas. And they both had, because Alabama had one loss or two?
One.
Yeah, so they had that one loss. Texas had one loss, and then I honestly thought Washington because Washington and Michigan is undefeated, you said, right? Yeah, so Washington and Michigan was a no-brainer because they both went undefeated, won the conference championship. But like the teams that had that one loss, I knew if Alabama beat Georgia, Alabama was going to be in. I didn't think they were going to give Georgia the boot, though. That was surprising to me. I thought since Alabama had one loss, they was going to let Georgia in with one loss as well. And I thought Texas was going to be out. So I thought I was going to be I thought it was going to be Michigan, Washington, Georgia, Alabama, because Texas had its own loss as well. So I thought it was that was going to end up happening. And me personally, I'm a Texas fan. I just thought Alabama and Georgia should have got in. Just because if we're going off of one loss and you're doing it like that, like, okay, then both of them should be in. And Texas beat Alabama, but Georgia beat Texas, and then Alabama lost to Georgia. So it was like a three-way. But me personally, I just think Alabama and Georgia this year is better than Texas. And maybe that's because, and like I said, I'm a Texas fan, but I don't believe in Quinn Ewers. I don't know why, but I don't believe in him. I don't think he's that good. I hope he proves me wrong and Texas, wins and can that first that first playoff game and then get to national championship and win it. But I don't think they're that good.
I think the thing that I don't like though is that with football, how it comes down, and I know it only has to be so many games. Like, football is a dangerous game, so that's probably the reason the way that they do it like that. But if I'm Florida State, I'm definitely pissed off because you got to think about it. You're telling me that I spent the whole season worrying about me. I'm not worrying about what other teams are doing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm worried about Florida State and us winning games. Who cares about Georgia? Who cares about Alabama, Washington, Michigan, any of those teams? I'm worried about Florida State, and I go out there every Saturday and I win every single game because I'm focused on me. If I'm getting snubbed when I went and did what I was supposed to do, just because it's Alabama or Georgia, it makes you think like, well, does the regular season even matter?
Yeah.
They went out there 13 Saturdays and they won every single game. Yeah. Yet the final decision was still based on what experts thought or, what certain people thought. And so I don't know. I still think that they have a ways to go with kind of getting that right. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is, but I just think it's just kind of unfortunate that you literally do not lose a game. Yeah. And you get snubbed just because of what the other team was doing when you handled your business. Right. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I just think it goes back to like I said, and I don't know why it is Alabama's like the college football. I mean, they've won a whole bunch of national championships. That's why they have the respect that they have. But when that happened, I just knew that Florida State or somebody was going to get snubbed and Alabama was going to get in. But it does suck for Florida State. But biggest thing for them, though, is, and I don't agree with this, I'm thinking the analysts were saying that they didn't get in because of the quarterback situation. He broke his leg. He's been out. So they're not. It would have been a waste for them to get in with those 4 teams.
It would have been a waste because it's hurting their pockets. That's what it comes down to. Exactly. Are people going to tune in?
Yeah. So, and they definitely got snubs. And then it's not fair at all, but, the 4 teams that are in are all good teams. Like I said, if they were going to do the one loss situation, Georgia should have been in before Texas. Like, if it was all said and done, then the no-brainer should have been Washington, Michigan, Florida State, and Georgia. Mm-hmm. That's what it should have been because Georgia had that one loss, but they beat Texas. Or no, I'm sorry, they didn't beat Texas. It was somebody else that they beat big, but they just had that one loss to Alabama. It should have been like that, those 4, because you can't go from number 1 to out of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, that is crazy. So that's why I say it should have been them 4, but since they did the one loss situation, now it should have been Michigan, Washington, Georgia, Alabama. Mm-hmm. And then, Florida State, like I said, that in that first situation, the 3 undefeateds plus Georgia, but they didn't do it like that. They did the one loss, and then it should have been, instead of Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Washington, Michigan, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, so once again, talking about the college football playoffs and whether you disagree or agree with it, right? If it's your school, I'm sure you are more than happy, but if you're one of the teams that gets snubbed, I guess you got next year, right?
Yeah, that sucks. Just because
yeah, whether you feel that's fair or not, though, that's the way that it go.
Yeah.
So let us know in the comments. What do you think about it? Do you agree with the way that they kind of choose these teams? Do you think it's a little bit biased? Whatever the case is, let us know in the comments. So moving on, last topic of the day. Why are you trying to play footsies with me? You're so unprofessional. Anyways, college basketball. A lot of games, right? And I think we were just talking about this earlier. We've been watching a lot of college basketball, a little bit more than we usually do. But we've been watching more women's basketball than the men's side. And it's been super exciting. Like, if you guys have been tuned in, we're getting some March Madness level games now. The month of November was just kind of crazy, and then even some of the games that I saw today was just wild. So we'll stick to women's basketball. Who are the players that you've been most excited about and most impressed with, right, as we've been through the first month of the season?
I will say the freshman, Juju at USC. Mikaylah Williams at LSU, and Lil Steph Curry at South Carolina.
You call her Lil Steph Curry because you don't know how to say her name?
I don't know her name. So
you knew her name. Malaysia Fawabi.
Oh, yeah, Malaysia. Yeah. Lil Steph Curry at South Carolina. But I've been real impressed with those three freshmen. Obviously, Caitlin Clarkson, no given.
Mm-hmm.
She continued to do what she do. But I just think for those freshmen, it's always big when you can come in and have a huge impact just coming out of high school. So that's why I would say those three. But yeah, and it's crazy too because I actually but coached against Juju, and we beat her. Yeah. If you watching this, Juju, yeah, we beat you. When they came to Dallas, when I was coaching on the girls' side.
Girls EYBL.
Yeah, the girls EYBL for Drive. And then Mikaylah, how I knew about her, we tried to recruit her at Drive, and we thought we had her. She committed to us. I'm saying she committed to us like it's college because it really is kind of like that with the club basketball. But she ended up staying in Louisiana and didn't come play for us. But her tryout, when she came, I knew she was cold and she was going to be cold. And she's proving that now. And the Malaysia girl, I had seen her on the circuit a couple of times, but really just off of video. And I could just tell that, she got it. And when I say it, there's that factor that, a lot of people don't have. So, but those three are really killing it right now.
So the funny story about Mikaylah Williams, because Marlon always, he lives and breathes basketball. I'm kind of into basketball and football, right? But basketball, he's into it every day. And he was telling me about the girl Mikaylah Williams, and he oh yeah, she came out tryout, she's cold, this and that. And obviously since I'm played, I'm always super, I don't know, I'm a harsh judger, I'll be honest. On a women's basketball side. So he told me about this Mikaylah Williams girl, but he didn't tell me about players before. And then when I see them, I'm like, bruh, why is you sitting here saying she or he, all that, they're not even that good. So I don't be paying him no mind. I like to see for myself because we have very different barometers as to what's good or not.
How's our problem?
So he told me about Mikaylah Williams. That was 3 years ago, right? Because that was I think it was 3, maybe 4
years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay him no mind. I'm like, okay, maybe she good, whatever. And then I went to one of the All-American games. It wasn't the McDonald's All-American game. I forget which one it was. It was in Dallas, so I was meeting up with an old friend of mine. Shout out Mike Pete if you're watching. And I was watching the game, and I'm just I'm watching. I'm like, who is this girl? She was killing. Dog, and it wasn't no just fast break points or nothing like that. I'm talking about she back to the basket, shimmy, turn around, fadeaway jumper, shimmy, turn around, up and under. I'm like, who is this girl? So I look up her name, and then I saw Louisiana, and I'm like, it clicked. I'm like, oh, this is who Marlon was telling me about. So I call him. I'm like, this the girl you was talking about? He yeah, I told you. I've been told you. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to hear all that. I'm
That's not how I talk.
How you talk?
How I talk.
He yeah, I told you. Yeah, I told you. She's like that. But he yeah, she like that. I'm like, dang, you was right. I'm like, this is the best girls basketball player that I didn't seen in years. And I'm talking about I didn't seen the Paige Beckers. I like Caitlin Clark. But coming out of high school, I'm like, yeah, she's nice. And I call her Baby Maya Moore. Reason why is because not too many women have that pull-up game, that 1-2 dribble pull-up, that back to the basket game. I think if you, and I hate doing comparisons, but if you're going to compare her to anyone, it's Maya Moore. And that's saying a lot because Maya Moore is arguably the best player to ever play the game.
Yeah. I would say I told you so. You need to listen. saying, "That be her problem. She don't want to listen." I be trying to tell her, but sometimes someone gotta be in your face to actually see.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. You was right. But something that's interesting though is seeing her play with LSU. So LSU, we're not even gonna get into all the drama that's been kind of going around surrounding that with like injuries and things like that. But I've gotten a chance to watch LSU play a couple times, and they're still trying to figure it out. Like it's really like the NBA with the amount of superstars that they have on their team and kind of sharing the ball. Like at the end of the day, there's only so much ball that can go around, and someone's gonna have to take a sacrifice. But you got Haley Van Lith, you got Mikaylah Williams, you got Flage, you got Angel Reese. Something I'm noticing, I could be wrong, but I feel like Haley Van Lith might be having second thoughts as to going to LSU because she comes from Louisville, where she pretty much gets to do whatever she wants. She's taking the most amount of shots. She has free reign. She comes over to LSU, and maybe she didn't do her homework on the freshmen that were coming in, a.k.a. Mikaylah Williams, but she comes over to LSU thinking like, oh, I was recruited by Kim Mulkey. This is going to be great. I'll still be able to have the freedom and woo, woo, woo. She still has that freedom, but Mikaylah Williams is that girl. And what I see when I see them play is a little bit of frustration. You know, maybe she wants the ball a little bit more. Maybe she's open at times, but Mikaylah Williams is doing her thing and things like that. So I don't know if you peeped that too, but I feel a little bit of friction, and I won't say jealousy, but a little bit of friction that, you know, Mikaylah Williams is doing what she does. I mean, she's a hooper, but I feel like Haley Van Lith is like, dang, I dang near should have stayed at Louisville.
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't really been able to watch a lot of women's and men's basketball just because I've been in my own season. But I did get to watch a lot over the Thanksgiving break. And I think this goes back to what I was already telling you before, but you don't be listening.
What?
That there's a such thing as...
I'm not about to get into this with you.
Yeah, so you can just sit there. There's a such thing... I'm talking to the camera now. I'm not even talking to you. As having too much talent. And I tell Tia all the time because, you know, I'm coaching the high school level and I'm doing a club with the EYBL stuff. And, you know, I am constantly coming across kids and, you know, trying to figure out who it's the best fit on our teams and stuff like that. And Tia does not understand that we cannot have all the best players in the area on one team because it can become too much. There's a such thing as having too much talent. And she don't understand that. But I say all of that to say that's what LSU is having trouble with. And I'm not saying having trouble with now because they're winning games now. Or they've been winning games. The only loss they had was to Colorado. But I guess I could speak on Haley's situation of are you seeing her frustrated is because it's just LSU has too much. They have too much talent. Like, there's only one basketball on the floor. There's only one person that can shoot it. There's only one person that can dribble it. I know probably coaches will say, oh, yeah, like, you know, it's going to be shared and everybody's going to get touches, but somebody is always going to be left out or feel slighted or feel like they're not touching the ball as much. So I say that because there's a such thing as having too much talent, and I feel like LSU, the summer that they have recruiting is just they have too much. Like Haley, and it might not even be Haley. Somebody's always gonna feel slighted because it's just not enough. I mean, if you had two balls out there, maybe, but it's only one. So it's just LSU just has too much talent, and I
think my rebuttal to that, and we won't go too much into it though, is yes, I agree with there's not enough ball. I do think that teams with talent can play together, but I think that the coach is going to be an important piece in that because it's really now it's egos or play and things like that, but coaching is also being able to influence. So I feel like in the right situation, right, and it's kind of hard because the coach can only do so much. I think if you can get players to buy in, to realize, yes, guys, look at all this talent, right? And you be transparent with your players. And you tell them, hey, Mikaylah may put up 15 shots a game one game, but Haley, it may be your night this other night. You know what I'm saying? But being honest with saying, hey, Mikaylah is our first option. Or Angel is our first option. Haley, you are the second option. Are you okay with that or are you not? And Haley may say, you know what? No, I'm not okay with that. And you're right. It's always going to be some type of friction. But if you can influence and get some players to buy in and sacrifice, that's the key word, I do think that it could work.
Yeah, but you are right. I will say that you are right. If you can have that conversation at the beginning of the season and everybody knows what's going on, and this is the I don't know what you want to call it.
The pecking order.
Yeah, the pecking order, or
the pecking order.
Yeah, whatever. But if you can get that, then yeah, it could possibly work. But at the end of the day, somebody's coming from being the girl or the man, and then come to a situation like it's hard to take second place when you were the man, or I keep saying the man, but whatever, the woman, the man from wherever you came from, and then now you playing second behind someone, a freshman, which she should be playing second behind her because Mikaylah's better than her. But and I'm not saying, I don't want you to think like you can't have a whole bunch of talent on one team and win. I'm saying that it's a such thing as having too much. Like, if you have a starting, I'll say.
So what you think about USA basketball then?
Yeah, USA basketball is the same thing. But those guys have to okay, USA basketball.
They find a way to win, though.
Yeah, they find a way to win, but okay, just think about not the dream team. What they call that team with Kobe and I forgot what they call that 2008 Olympic team.
Was it the comeback team?
Yeah, I forgot what they called them, but LeBron, Kobe, KD, Melo, and was it Chris Paul? I think. I don't know, but okay, out of those four, let's just talk about it, because it doesn't matter who the point guard was. They got them four: KD, Melo, LeBron, and
what year was this? Do you know?
It was 2018, I think.
And it's still a pecking order.
Yeah,
it's still a pecking order. Those are great players.
Yes, you're proving my point, though. It's a pecking order.
And that's what I'm saying. The guys that are 3 and 4 have to be okay with that. And if they are okay with that, you will have success.
We're on the same page. I thought you were trying to say something else. Even because you brought up USA team.
You just be saying that it don't work with too much talent. And I'm saying it can work with a caveat.
Yeah, but look at what we talking about. We talking about USA. Of course, them dudes know that they gotta not bow down, but know that LeBron and KD they're gonna be the main two, or LeBron and Kobe, whoever. Them three was gonna be the main three people, and then after that, they get in where they fit in. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of sacrifice they had to make. But if we talking about high school basketball, or club basketball, or college basketball, that's not USA. It's a such thing as, I think, you having too much at those three levels.
I think it's easier though at the college level to get them to understand. AAU is a little bit different, and the reason why I say that is if it was just the players, it might be easier to have a situation where you technically have too much talent, but the parents are involved. Yes. And that makes it hard. And that's just my challenge to you.
But you say that at the AAU level, but that's also the college level.
I think college is, and I could be wrong, but just from my personal experience, at the college level, they cut that shit off with the parents.
They do. They definitely do. And you're right. They do. It's a cutoff. You're right about that.
That shit that be going up players coming behind the bench, that does not happen.
Yeah, you're right. At the college level, I won't say it doesn't happen. It probably happens behind closed doors. They probably won't do it, in open space, but it does happen. But high school and club, I just don't think, just because like the situation, like parents is an issue, kids trying to go play at the next level is an issue, because everybody feel like they Division I, or feel like they are the man, and their parents feel like that. So it's like hard to get 5 talented
players and their
parents and their kids to buy into a team. So that's why, like, I just feel like it's super difficult at that level. And that's not saying, like, I honestly think having 3 to 4 kids that are really, really good is a perfect number. Because then now it's like, okay, I feel like with 3 to 4 kids, everybody can be happy and feel like they are doing their part, or feeling like they're getting their recognition with 3 to 4. And then I know it sounds crazy, but like, okay, if you just add one more in, that's 5. But when 5 people are trying to all take 10 to 15 shots, it ain't enough. Like, you know, but like if three people are taking 10 to 15, that's understandable. 4 people are taking 10 shots each, that's understandable. Like 10 to 12, you know, and people coming off the bench know their role, then it's like it works. But like if you have a 5 that is really, really good, and then you go to the bench and then have, I'm not even going to say, you have 2 people that could possibly start with that 5, and then they feel like, okay, well, I could start over this guy, or I should be in the starting 5, and they're as good or better than those starting 5, it becomes too much. It's not enough basketball for those people.
Yeah, I think we can have a whole episode. Like, you just gave me an idea, like just an AAU episode, period. You know, you coach at the high school level, you coach at the AAU grassroots level, and so just about the stuff that kind of go on there, and like the difficulties that kind of come with it, because it's a whole different type of like coaching game. To be honest, I think I saw one of the guys, he was coaching for 3D Empire last summer, and he just took the jump to the collegiate level, and he was just saying that he feels more prepared to be able to coach any basketball game because he's been through so many different scenarios, and not just scenarios at the college level, but he's had reps at the grassroots level. He's had reps at the high school level, and now the college, and he thinks that makes him better prepared than a lot of these coaches. It's kind of like putting up shots, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that was definitely an interesting take. And I know we're wrapping up this episode, but I kind of want to do like a whole episode just geared towards AAU, and from your unique point of view, with you being a coach for one of the top teams in the country, class of 2026. Your thoughts, that'd be interesting.
I just go to so too, if you kids are watching that, coaches, we value point guards that are pass first, or guys that are defensive guys, or you know, guys that just know their role and, you know, play their role to a T. Like, that is not a lost art in basketball. So you don't always gotta be the man or the scorer. Like, we take value in, when I say we, coaches take value in guys that know their strengths, and it take value in the kids that know that they don't gotta score to be significant in what we're doing. So
100%.
Yeah.
Wise words from the Coach McCoy. Anyways, this is great conversation. Good topics, great topics. Thanks for joining once again. We are gonna wrap up this episode. It's your girl Tia.
Oh wait, before we wrap up, I just want to say that this is my last show.
What?
Because Tia said before we started she was tired of my ass, and this is the last show she was doing with me. No. So I just want to say I appreciate everybody.
Stop doing that. Coming back on the show, he be like irking me, so I had to say something to light a fire under his ass. Like, you're not gonna come back on the show if you don't help me. That's all I was saying. But he'll be back.
So I'm going to be back next show. Yeah, so we're going to be live and direct.
Anyways, Don't ever interrupt me again while I'm wrapping up the show. But great topics. We will catch you guys again at the top of 2024. Unfinished business. We out this thing. Peace.